You always just don't attack it when like defending.
I think it's
Boy, Arsenal hold fresh talks to hijack Manchester United's Matheus Cunha transfer. I mean, if it was just based on the tabloids, Cunha, Rodrigo, Zubimendi, this one, that one, Gykeres, HIJACK, we're doing everything, we're signing everyone. We probably will win all 4 trophies and finally get over the line. Smash the like button. Let me know your thoughts on Cunha. Now, personally, I think with United, I describe Manchester United, you know what, they really are the Red Devils because they're only in the Europa League because they won the FA Cup, which you have to win the trophies. And they're only going to be in the Champions League because they've won the Europa League. Hey, listen, Man United, don't let Spurs win that. I always describe it as 1, they really are the Red Devils. 2, I'm sour because everyone else is going to win the silverware apart from us. 3, it's like they're never invited to the party, but they bully their way in. Now, I say that to say this. Europa League financially saves Man United Champions League saves Man United at a very financial, delicate time. We all know, while I think it's overstated because Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea, City are going to finish in the top 4, but even them, and they're probably the best example, Liverpool the same. These clubs will be able to sign players regardless of the Champions League or their participation in such. Of course, it's an added carrot. I do think for any player that is going to join the traditional top 6 teams, and you could extend that to what Newcastle and Aston Villa are doing, you can't be in the Champions League all of the time, essentially. Someone's going to miss out kind of thing. But financially, it does allow you to get over the line and maybe be a bit more risky. And if they get Cunha and Gykeres, that's 2 very good additions. Gykeres is also linked with Real Madrid as well as Arsenal. I would have Cunha, especially because you see the things we have now. I'm a bit wary of the links. We did try to allegedly get him in January. We do like him. Obviously, it's easy to link Arsenal with people that Berta allegedly has had an interest in going back to his days at Atletico Madrid. He's worked with Partey. Is there any coincidence beyond the obvious? Talk of Partey signing a new deal. Cunha was at Atletico Madrid, not best known for his time there. Gykeres was linked with Atletico Madrid, and you're seeing the kind of language change, people. Allegedly, Arsenal are attempting to make a late attempt to hijack Manchester United's transfer for Matheus Cunha, a bit like our pursuit of silverware. Maybe it's too little too late in the market, on and off the field. After reportedly holding new talks with the Wolves forward this week. Now, if I'm Cunha, I might be open to moving to London and signing for Arsenal. The same goes for United. If I am Cunha's advisors, you've got 2 similar projects. Yes, Man United are about to win the Europa League, and they could caveat that with, no matter where we are, we do pick up silverware. Arsenal, we've got an exciting project. We're not quite getting over the line. There's Brazilians here. He could be enticed. If you're Cunha's advisor, surely you're playing Arsenal against Man United or Man United against Arsenal and any other potentially interested parties purely because you need to get your player the best project. We also need to get him the best money and things. And at 25 years of age, I'm sure at the very minimum, you're going to sign a 4-year, maybe a 5-year deal if you were to sign him at Arsenal or Man United. So it's a pivotal time. Apologies, people. In like his life, 25 years of age, you could get a good contract. Man United are believed to be close to the signing of Cunha this summer, but the transfer cannot formally be completed until the end of the season when his 75 million euros release clause becomes active. I wonder if, similar to Arsenal, I don't think anyone really wants to pay the release clause because it has to be paid up front. Maybe tailor a deal for Wolves. And he didn't want to leave Wolves mid-season as they're in a relegation race. They've confirmed their status in the Premier League for next season at the very least. The delay in finalising a deal has prompted Arsenal to make a renewed attempt to sign Cunha, according to reporter Ben Jacobs. Not sure how credible he is. With Newcastle also said to be in the race for the Brazilian. If Newcastle getting in Buemo or Cunha to go with holding on to HIJACK and Anthony Gordon and I'm sure all the other targets. Newcastle, we've been knowing they're bad news for the traditional top 6. They will win the Premier League, I think, within the next 10 years. Hopefully not before Arsenal, but I'd probably put the money on Newcastle, if I'm honest with you. Cunha is keen to decide his future in the coming weeks, even before the season ends, and the 25-year-old has reportedly agreed to United Sporting Project with discussions over financials continuing to progress. Ben Jacobs revealed that Arsenal have made fresh contact with Cunha and a new meeting is set to be scheduled between Gunners sporting director Andrea Berta and the players' camp. So does that mean the Nico Williams thing is off the table? I don't know. United are still the front runners for Cunha's signature, but the interest from Arsenal could complicate matters if there really is interest, particularly with Mikel Arteta's side now ready to focus on transfer business after the Champions League exit. Man United hoping to seal team-friendly financial package with Wolves again. He's got 15 league goals. Apparently, United's interest is also dependent on agreeing a deal with Wolves, with the Red Devils keen to restructure Cunha's release clause to avoid paying all the money up front. With personal terms still not formally agreed, Arsenal may push for Cunha after a disappointing attacking display against PSG. Newcastle are said to be in contention. The Magpies are still yet to secure Champions League qualification. Cunha may negotiate with Arsenal United to secure his move in the coming weeks, people. Real Madrid have entered the race to sign Gykeres. Ironically, I think they need an out-and-out number 9. I don't know if he'll be a starter, but an out-and-out number 9, I don't really think they've got that. Owing to where Real Madrid's season have gone, speculation over Carlo Ancelotti, even fitness coaches, people, and several players. You know, Arda Güler seemed to be one leaving. Seems like he's going to get more football in what's left of this season and beyond. Rodrigo's been linked with Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, and anyone with their dog, and so on and so forth. You get the point. We've heard that Arsenal are led to be the favourites for Gykeres. Simultaneously, there's probably equally as aggressive links and reports putting him at United, people. The Telegraph said Andrea Berta is believed to favour a move for Gykeres. As things stand, it is believed Arsenal are Gykeres' most likely destination should he leave Sporting. But like we see with Cunha, like we see with Gykeres, until people are holding shirts and it's signed, sealed and delivered, anything's on the table. Now, this guy is going to give Jan Mvia a run for his money. At this point, if Zubimendi's not an Arsenal player, something's wrong. Martin Zubimendi's move to Arsenal is expected to be confirmed in the coming weeks. I'll believe it when people are holding shirts. Allegedly, we've been given a free run to secure the signing of the Sociedad midfielder after Real Madrid decided they do not need him. And again, add fuel to the fire. Xabi Alonso gave him his chance. It's widely expected Xabi Alonso will be Real Madrid's new manager, people. The Gunners have been in the hunt for Zubimendi for over a year, probably longer. Yet now the Emirates club is finally in a position to land the midfielder. Apparently, Football Transfers revealed in February that Arsenal are confident of securing the signature of the Spain international, who has a release clause of 60 million euros written into his deal. Real Madrid still posed a threat at that point, but have turned their back on the 26-year-old, according to OK Diario. Interestingly for Arsenal, Los Blancos' reasoning for dropping their interest in Zubimendi is simply because he's not the type of midfielder they are looking for this season. Indeed, Carlo Ancelotti's side have given the Spaniard a glowing reference, people. So they rate him. They like the fact that he's focused, family orientated, a calm person, his on-field personality. The price tag is also a turn-off. Martin Zubimendi's buyout clause is 60 million. And as much as Real Madrid maintains an excellent relationship with Real Sociedad, they are fully aware that when it comes to transfer fees, the San Sebastian club will not budge. I mean, you would clearly play in the 6th role and allow Declan Rice to continue his life as an 8, people. So what do you make of Zubimendi? Do you think he's the answer? Do you think if we confirm party to a new deal and have Zubimendi as well as Rice, that we've got enough in midfield? Allegedly, speaking of midfielders, Arteta is keen to be reignited with Kevin De Bruyne, who's been linked with Napoli, moves to MLS, Arsenal, and many other clubs. Apparently, he's pushing to sign him as a free agent. He's going to be on big wages, people. You know, he's going to be on massive wages. We've been allegedly set for a shock transfer. I mean, because it's Kevin De Bruyne, I would say yes, but for the wages, for the inconsistencies with his injuries, because he's not exactly at his best, of course, he could still help us. I would veto the move. I don't think it would make financial sense, especially with trying to commit players to new deals. And despite the fact that we want players gone, it's not confirmed anybody's left at this moment in time. As we know, a bit like Trent Alexander-Arnold, Kevin De Bruyne, who's a long-term steward and a legend of his club, has made clear he's keeping it moving. Arsenal being tipped as the most likely team to come in for De Bruyne if he stays in England. Arsenal are in the market for at least 1, possibly 2 central midfielders, and Arteta would like an experienced option. Apparently, Nico Williams is set to have a big money move this summer, been linked with Arsenal, Liverpool, and Barcelona. He's currently nursing an injury or something like that. He didn't play in the second leg of the Real Madrid game. His wages, apparently his wage demands goes as high as 400,000, definitely not million, people. So I don't know. Nico Williams in summer 2025 is not the same as Nico Williams in 2024. What does this mean, bro? This just seems injury concerns. Apparently, he's been playing with a sports hernia and he could have surgery. Obviously, Spain will be playing in the World Cup next year, and I'm sure he wants to have a better season, people. Surgery to fix a sport hernia could rule him out for up to 3 months. And the worst, there's never a good time to get injured, but you could argue the worst time to get injured for a footballer is the start of the season, or if you have to, not necessarily injury, if you're out of sorts. You know, Declan Rice had to play a bit of catch up. You've seen this several times, people. We'll have to see if we're concerned, but you can expect speculation over his future to continue. Allegedly, Andrea Berta is racing to kind of get talks for a new contract for Saliba confirmed, especially owing to where we're at. Real Madrid are closing in on Huijsen, people, so that could mean they leave Saliba alone at least this summer. 2026 and 2027, I don't know, because apparently they want to sign Liverpool's Konate on a free, and then obviously that will be in 2026, and then Saliba in 2027 on a free. Real Madrid, they're bullies, man. They've shown that they'll wait. And how greedy could you be to have Hodgson, Saliba, Konate, Trent over there, all the kind of youngish and prime young players in and around? It's crazy. And to see what Barcelona's doing, El Clasico might go back to being the biggest fixture in club football. And what I mean by that is it didn't matter at a point. Whatever team you supported, you knew when El Clasico was on. It's not that we don't care about El Clasico. It's not that we don't watch it and stuff. But if you miss it, you don't really care. It's a highlights kind of thing. We are still linked with Morgan Rogers, people. I'd love to know you lot's thoughts on that. Reports go as high as to say 70 million. Again, reports after we went out of the Champions League have said we're targeting 4 players as part of a massive overhaul. I think there'll be four players that would insert into the starting 11 or really push, but then it's about quantity and having depth. We do not have the numbers. We run our players ragged, and I actually feel sorry for the players, whatever I think about them. As I've said in a previous vid, check it out, folks. I'll link it. I can criticize their ability if they're good enough, all of that stuff. I can't question the players' commitment, and I feel that they've been shortchanged. I feel if this was a working environment and these footballers, it is a job, but they were working, I don't think the company ethos has put the best foot forward. But something we already know, Gykeres, Nico Williams, Dean Hodgson, and Zubimendi's name is thrown in there as well. So they're the 4 that's been heavily speculated. I just spoke about Morgan Rogers. Would you guys spend 70 million on him, though, for what it's worth? It's expected Odegaard will remain Arsenal's captain next season, people. So draw whatever conclusions you want there. What is this being said? Again, we're still linked with Juan Garcia. According to the Independent, we are closing in on the signing of the Espanyol keeper, who's still linked with Real Madrid, etc., people. And he's doing quite well in La Liga. And I wonder how long, before Mikel Arteta would have to make a decision. Is David Raya or is Garcia, assuming we sign him, going to be our number 1? What has Ornstein said? He's spoken about Wirtz. I'm not going to bore you lot here. With Cunha, Ornstein has said, I don't think it has died down. There's just not a great deal that can happen until the season ends. And Cunha's release clause at Wolves becomes active. In the meantime, United will seek to get personal terms in place. They've made an offer, but I'm not aware of an agreement yet. So they'll continue discussing it in an effort to get there. If/when that happens and the clause becomes active, they can get the deal done. Also, they've got the small matter of at the time, the Europa League semi-finals where they're in the finals. Kevin De Bruyne was a boyhood Liverpool fan. They're actually linked with him as well. There are strong links for strikers and midfielders to Arsenal, but is there any concrete interest in wingers? The interest in Williams is well documented. I've also previously mentioned they like Gordon. I saw the Rodrigo rumours a few days ago, but I don't have any information regarding the Real Madrid forward at the moment, and there'll be other options. I'm not sure we should expect a quick resolution on this position. Arsenal been keen to add a wide attacker for what feels like years. I think it would require a departure. Also, the more immediate priority seems to be a striker. Again, Liam Delap is linked with Arsenal, Spurs, Manchester United, and the same goes for Gykeres, people. We know of Ruben Amorim's affiliation with Gykeres from their days together at Sporting, but I'm not sure yet where he'll end up. Arsenal and others are interested parties. Or he's spoken about Osimhen as well and said that the wages and whatnot could be somewhat of an issue, really and truly. We all love Balemba. We know we're not getting him. Hodgson, apparently, still linked with the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona. Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Newcastle, and Spurs are all apparently admirers of the Dutch/Spanish centre midfielder. Xabi Alonso wants to sign Zubimendi. So again, conflicting reports everywhere. Newcastle have been linked with Cunha and Mbeumo and Delap. 3 players that have been linked with us. Out of all 3, personally, I'd want in Mbeumo. Let me know where you lot are. Spoken about Hodgson already. We've gone over that. So good. I've got 2 tabs. Arsenal are prepared to sell Gabriel Martinelli this summer as part of a major overhaul of Mikel Arteta's squad. Would you lot go for that? Do you think it makes sense? Would you sacrifice Martinelli? Laporta of Barcelona is apparently a huge admirer of Rafa Leao and wants to sign the AC Milan winger this summer. Would you go for Leao over Nico Williams? And if they go for Leao, does that mean we have a quote-unquote free hit at Nico Williams? I don't know, people. And for what it's worth, apparently Brentford are willing to listen to transfer offers for their star strikers this summer in Visa and in Mbeumo. Now, we could have done with either or this season. And we did come close to a Champions League final with an incomplete squad. We do need to strengthen. Only time will tell, though. What do you lot think, though, man? Smash the like button.
There's always just like,
I've been given like